can't help but notice you coming down the street, smiling so dearly at everyone you meet. And I can't help but notice you throwing me a glance, a wink telling me there's a chance.
Hello everybody, 'tis the amazing gaming guy here, and welcome back to my Let's Build series in Planet Coaster, where this time we are building our Main Street. This is our Disney World, Disneyland style Main Street area for our park. And this week I thought it would be a really fun idea to try to recreate a classic Disney Main Street feature, and that is of the trams. Now obviously the trams in Main Street, they move as most vehicles do. They move along tracks up the centre of Main Street. I don't know if they have them on all main streets. I know they certainly have it in Paris, because that's the only Disney I've been to. I assume they do have it in the other main streets elsewhere in the world as well. And to be completely honest, I don't know how much these trams are used. I don't know whether they're only in the shows and parades and stuff that they do, or whether it's actually a sort of a daily thing that these would go through Main Street taking guests around. I don't think it's that. If you are an expert on Disney, or if you've been to Disney, a couple of times or something, and you know about these trams, then please do let me know about them in the comments, because I really couldn't find that much about them online. I searched them up, the Disneyland trams, and there really wasn't that much there. Granted, I didn't look for an incredible amount of time, because I didn't have a long time to look, and this isn't really meant to be a history lesson. I just wanted to build the thing, but I was surprised that I couldn't really find anything. So if you know what they are and what they do, then please let me know. That would be really helpful. Now, I started by creating the base of the tram and the sort of back bit where you'll sort of get onto the tram, the walkway, and some pillars up the sides, and some sort of short walls. And I tried to start doing the roof. My initial plan was that I would use that glass that you saw a moment ago to create the curve, and then I would put on top of that the wood that you see I'm placing now, and I thought, that'd be a really, really great way to cheat it and make the curve very easily. But alas, the bounding boxes in Planet Coaster foiled me again, because when you try to align it to the surface, these wooden planks, they don't actually align to the curve, they just align to a weird sort of rectangle shape. You don't need to know about the details, but it didn't work. So I had to avoid that and do it by eye, which it went quite well, although it's not completely accurate, and I would have liked to do it from a reference, but what can you do, eh? So then I started to put this bit on top. This is sort of I don't really know what to call it. It's like the sort of top area of the tram. If you search up Disneyland tram in Google, you do get some images, and I was using them as a slightly rough reference for this. I didn't want it to be exactly the same, and I didn't think I was capable of making it exactly the same anyway, so I thought it was easier just to avoid trying to do that at all, and just go for my own thing, because it's always a little bit easier, and I'm not afraid to take the easy route if I need to. And I just wanted to put some more detail into this top area, so I put these little supporting beams, these supporting corner pieces onto the roof, just to sort of hold up the next flight, the next area of roof. Now, my sort of colour scheme for this, I kind of wanted to... Again, I was following the references that I found for the Disney trams, and I also looked up sort of trams of this era that would be appropriate, sort of 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, but in a nice style, not a sort of commercial style. But yeah, so I thought I would go for a sort of green and red colour scheme, and it's kind of Christmassy as well. I don't know why it should be Christmassy, but I felt that was a nice sort of vibe to have for this. And it kind of works with the other things that I'm doing in the park in this area as well. I've gone for a lot of greens and a lot of colour, so I thought that would be a reasonable route to take when I started doing this tram. Now I thought I'd just mention something else very quickly while I have a moment. If you haven't seen it, guys, I posted another video on my channel just a couple of days ago, sort of announcing that I have reached 250,000, a lot more, 250,000 views across my channel, and I thought that was really cool, and I'm so thankful for you guys for helping me get there. You know, that's 250,000 views. What? Brilliant! I'm so grateful. And that video was just asking you guys to send in any questions you might have for me about my stuff in Planet Coaster, theme parks in general, the stuff I've built in Minecraft, or myself. Loads of you guys sent stuff in, and I'll be filming my responses to those questions very, very soon. But in the meantime, you guys have a little bit more time. If there's anything that you want to ask me, just head on to that video. I would rather you didn't comment it on this one. Try and comment it on the other one. If you have any questions, go find that video. Send me the questions. Or send me the questions on Twitter or something. You can do that as well. I'm not picky. But yeah, that would be really, really cool if you got anything to ask. So, yeah. And something else that I was building in this build, I wanted to do the insides of the tram itself, so I thought I'd put in some benches, and I would have loved to use some benches from Planet Coaster, but they only snap to paths, so I couldn't put them in here because they kept snapping to the paths on the outside. Well, they don't only snap to paths, you can kind of put them wherever you want, but on level with the path and that sort of thing. Anyway, it wasn't working. So I started making my own custom benches using some wooden planks and some wooden pillars, and it took a little bit of work, but I got there in the end, and I managed to duplicate that and replicate it throughout the tram to create a nice row of benches on either side. So to add some more detail to the outside of the tram, I put a nice sort of row of just like a wooden beam along the top, supported by a row of those sort of curved support pieces, and coloured them in my red, green and kind of cream colour scheme. And then I wanted to give this sort of carriage, this tram, a name. I thought that would be fun. I would use references from the era and the sort of Hollywood references and stuff as well, because I was kind of still toying with the sort of Hollywood idea, sort of integrating this into that. And I chose Marilyn, because, you know, famous Marilyn Monroe. But you'll notice I don't keep it, because God, I love this game, but the sign assets, the editable signs, are so bad. They're really bad. The text looks awful. It doesn't scale properly. It doesn't fit properly. It's terrible. All the fonts might as well just be Comic Sans because they all suck. I guess that's why a lot of much more proficient builders kind of build their own signs with their own colours and stuff. I should probably try that, to be honest. But again, there's not enough space on this tram to do it. And I was hoping I'd just be able to stick that on there and have a nice little name, but it really didn't work, so I will be getting rid of that, don't worry. That glaring lit atrocity will not be staying on my ride, or my tram. It's not a ride. It's a very serious piece of architecture, thank you very much. Or not. So yeah, just to solidify this into the landscape, I thought I would put some rocks around it, because this thing isn't going to move. I couldn't make it move even if I wanted to, which I don't really. I think it works as a sort of solid piece of the landscape, a nice piece of theming for the area. So I tried to solidify that with some rocks and some plants, and just sort of make it blend in a little bit. And I thought it would be a cool thing for people to actually be able to get on and sort of look around and explore. Obviously the people in the game won't be able to do that, but I wanted to suggest that you could in real life. That's kind of all this game is, really, isn't it? You're sort of making something that you just wish could exist in real life, or you're replicating something that does exist in real life. So yeah, I wanted that to be a possibility. And to finish this off, I thought I would integrate it with some of the flags that I've got in the rest of the area, this sort of bunting, to sort of give it a little bit more detail again, and it just looks nice, it looks sort of happy, and sort of joyous, and it works with the theme and the whole atmosphere of this area. And I thought I would string this bunting between some posts, the wooden posts, and some lamp posts as well, just to make sure it's not flying. I didn't want it to be floating in the air. So yeah, that is just about all we have time for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have liked this, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
No other could enchant me, darling, like you do. I've just got eyes for you. I've just got eyes for you. I've just got eyes for you.